Hello everyone, this is part 10 of What If Naruto Came Back with a Kid, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Ino didn't know what to say or do. First, her best friend comes back from a mission almost s. Then the guy she loved said that he had no romantic feelings for her. Then her best friend's sister, another close friend, is angry with her best friend after he ked her old crush. And now she had just gotten the realization of a lifetime. Everything made sense now. I thought about it, and there's never going to be a girl who likes me. And if there is, they'll find out my secret and not want anything to do with me. So I just thought that since you were always so nice and looking out for me, you should have my first and only kiss. Flashback. Ino frowned. I take it you don't want me to set you up with Hinata. Naruto shook his head. With anyone. Ino looked at him confused. Why? Naruto held the spot above his heart. It hurts too much. It just reminds me that no matter how hard I try, no matter how strong I get, I will always just be second best. Second best. Naruto, Hinata has had a crush on you since we were little kids. She worships you. Naruto nodded. I should go apologize to her then. I know what it feels like to be rejected like that. What do you mean rejected? Did you ask a girl out and get turned down? Naruto shook his head. Then what? You're too scared or something. It's not like that, yelled Naruto. Don't you get it? I'm the Kyuubi, okay? I know how she would look at me if I told her. Those same eyes you used when I changed in the forest. So there is someone. Naruto sighed and nodded. Naruto, you don't know. Even if I wasn't some cursed freak, she still loves someone else. So I don't stand a chance with her. With who? End flashback. Ino frowned as she watched people coming in and out of her parents' shop. It was me. I'm the one he loves. You know you actually have to work to sell flowers, came Inoki's voice beside her. Ino looked at her father and frowned. Sorry daddy. I'll try to pay attention. Inoki frowned. What's wrong? Ino shook her head. Nothing. You can't fool me, sweetie. You're always so great working in the shop. What's got you distracted? Ino frowned and unconsciously looked at the open note to her side. Inoki looked at it and chuckled. I thought she agreed with us to let things develop at their own pace. Ino's head snapped up. You knew. Inoki chuckled. Sweetie, everyone knew. He's had eyes for you since he was able to have crushes on girls. Why do you think he hated the Uchiha so much? He was jealous. Inoki nodded. Why didn't he say anything? Inoki scoffed. Look who he had to compete with. The treasured Uchiha and then a genius with an IQ over 200 who happened to be his teammate. Ino took a deep breath, stealing her resolve. I have to talk to him. I'll go after we. Inoki immediately took Ino's apron and started to push her towards the door. You go on. I can handle the shop for the afternoon. But I've been working all day. I must look horrible. Inoki chuckled again. You look fine, now stop stalling. He then shoved her out, shutting the door behind her. Ino sighed as she started towards the hospital. At the hospital about 10 minutes later, Naruto winced as he slowly walked around the room. The spot below his heart still hurt bad. It wasn't bleeding anymore though, thanks to the Kyuubi. He reached into a bag Kakashi had been kind enough to bring him and pulled out a change of clothes. He then began the slow and painful process of changing his clothes. He had just finished with his shirt when he heard a knock on the door. Come in. He looked up and was surprised to see Ino slowly walk in. Ino looked up and felt her breath catch in her chest when she saw Naruto sitting there looking at her. You okay, Ino-chan? Asked Naruto as he tilted his head to the side in confusion. Ino blushed slightly. When did these feelings even begin? And when did Naruto stop being that little boy I used to play hide and seek with? She gasped when she watched Naruto stumble forward until he was only a few inches away from her. Her heart stopped when Naruto lifted his hand and felt her forehead. You're not warm, but your cheeks are so red. Maybe you should use the bed to lie down and I'll go find a nurse. He then started for the door but was stopped when he felt a pair of arms wrap around him, Ino. He then felt a head being buried in his back. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm stupid for not seeing it. Naruto turned around slowly wrapping his arms around Ino and chuckling, seeing what? That you love me. That I'm the one you thought you could never get. But I'm here now, and it's okay. Naruto froze at those words. He had dreamed of this day for years. In fact, it dreamed of it almost every night. It had been his secret goal since before he entered the academy. Even more important than becoming Hokage. He felt Ino start to push her head into his chest. He couldn't hold back a sigh of contentment as he wished this moment would never end. He had waited for so long. Through Sasuke, then through Shikamaru. Naruto frowned as it took every ounce of his will to push Ino away. Ino felt like collapsing as Naruto rejected her embrace. Naruto stepped away shaking his head. It's not real. Naruto, you just feel sorry for me. It's not real. He then backed away. The look in his eyes could tell that his heart was begging for this not to be happening. He wanted nothing more than to open his arms and just be enveloped by the emotion that he had wanted so long. Ino stepped forward reaching for him. Naruto, please. Naruto bowed his head not wanting to look her in the face. You have it okay. You have my heart. You will be the only one that ever has it, but I can't let you settle for me. You deserve better. But I want you. Naruto shook his head. I'm leaving in a week. Won't be back for a very long time. He then looked at her plastering his usual hello Naruto smile. When I get back, we'll just act like this never happened, okay? Ino couldn't believe what she just heard. You're leaving. Naruto nodded. Yeah, Ero Sennin is going to teach me all kind of jutsu and when I come back I'll be the best shinobi this village has ever seen. Ino couldn't hold back the tears. I just told you I want to be with you, and you tell me you're leaving. Naruto chuckled. Sorry Ino-chan. Ino leapt against Naruto making him wince the sudden pressure against his wound. She once again buried her face into his chest and cried, You barker. If I hold your heart, then stay here and take mine. Naruto sighed, I can't do that. He pushed her away, picked up his bag and started for the door. Where are you going? You're too hurt to leave yet. Naruto looked over his shoulder and frowned, see you in when I get back from my TS. He then opened the door, stepped out and closed it. He leaned against the wall for a second trying not control his emotions. Just remember. She doesn't love you. No one could ever possibly love you. Sakura had been crying for the past week. The person she loved had betrayed the village, then left her on a park bench after knocking her out, and now he was And the worst part was it was her own brother that killed him. She dug her face even deeper into her pillow as she lay on the bed in the Yamanaka's guest room. She heard a knock on her door. Go away. The door seemed to be in a rebellious mood that day as the knob turned and Ino walked in. Sakura, we need to talk. Sakura looked up from her pillow. Her eyes were bloodshot and her cheeks were puffy from all the crying. I thought I said to go away. Ino walked in sitting herself on the corner of the bed. I know, but there are some things you need to get through that stubborn gigantic forehead of yours. Good way to start off, growled Sakura as she turned her back to Ino. Ino sighed. When did things change between us? Sakura frowned, still not facing Ino. I don't know, but you probably started it. Ino thought back trying to remember. When we were little we would have never let anyone come between us. I guess that all changed when we both started having crushes on Sasuke. That was stupid of us. Sakura nodded. We both wanted to be with him so much. We just let that get in the way of things. She turned around and sat up, now sitting next to Ino. Ino chuckled slightly. I hated you so much when you got to be on Sasuke's team and not me. What was he like when he started to open up? Sakura frowned. He never did. You know how Sasuke was. He was focused on killing his brother and reviving his clan. Those two things were all that mattered. Ino glanced at Sakura with the corner of her eye. We were idiots for caring for him that much. Sakura shook her head. If I could have just tried harder. Maybe if I wasn't so weak then. Ino then whirled around the bed and slapped her. How stupid are you, forehead? You're still chasing after him even after he left us all. Sakura held her cheek. You don't understand. I don't understand. Well, let me tell you what I do understand. The last family you have left is about to leave the village for several years on a training mission, and you're not even smart enough to go see him off. Sakura stared at Ino in shock. He's leaving. Ino nodded as tears started to reach the edge of her eyes. He thinks you hate him, damn it. Are you going to let him think that the entire time he is gone? 'Cause if you are, I will tell you right now, I will hate you for every single second until he comes back. Sakura was shocked. Of course Ino had always been protective of Sakura and Naruto, but never like this. She had never gone as far as to choose sides between the two. Ino, what aren't you telling me? Ino shook it off. That doesn't matter. Naruto is leaving in an hour. You have to go meet him at the front gate before he leaves and tell him you forgive him. Sakura narrowed her eyes as if trying to read Ino. Why do you care so much about this? Ino blushed slightly and shook her head again. I just hate to see Naruto being all sad and miserable. Sakura noticed the blush on Ino's cheek and smirked. So, the big idiot finally confessed, and you want to help out your new boyfriend. Boy Ino, you switch between boys faster than anyone I have ever seen. He didn't confess. He gave me a letter your mom wrote for me. That's how I found out. Then hurry up and go tell him then. Nothing will cheer him up faster. Ino looked away. I already did. He pushed me away. Sakura was on her feet in a second. He what? She then quickly changed clothes before grabbing Ino's wrist and dragging her out of the house and towards the front gate. Sakura. What are you doing? Asked Ino as she desperately tried to free her wrist. I'm going to say goodbye to my brother, then kick his ass for being so stupid. And me? Sakura looked over her shoulder with a glint in her eye. You're going to give him a proper goodbye. Ino's face turned blood red. A proper goodbye. Sakura nodded. I'll give you two a little time alone and leave the rest to you. Ino continued to struggle against the GS. Her desperation increased when they came into sight of the front gate. There stood Kakashi, Asuma, Shikamaru and Tsunade at the front gate saying goodbye to Naruto and Jiraiya. Everyone seemed to be a little sad that it was going to be such a long time apart, but Naruto looked like he was nothing more than a shell void of anything that could be considered happiness or even a soul. It changed however when he saw the approaching females. Sakura stopped in front of him, and they stood there for a second facing each other. The entire group was silent waiting for some kind of reaction. They got it when Sakura burst into tears and hugged her brother tight, digging her head into the side of Naruto's en. I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry. The weight of the world seemed to be lifted off Naruto's shoulders as he smiled or inhaled the scent of his sister's hair and hugged her back. It's okay. I really tried to bring him back to you alive, but he wouldn't. Sakura nodded against her brother's en. Please forgive me for being so stubborn and stupid. I don't want to lose you too. Naruto smiled. You won't. When I get back I should have my rightful inheritance, and we'll work hard to become a family again. Sakura pulled away and smiled. One more thing before you leave. Naruto smiled back. What? Bam. Naruto winced when a fist hit the top of his head. Barker. How stupid are you to reject Ino? Naruto paled back away from his now furious sister. Well, we. Sakura then glanced at the rest of the group. We're giving him a few minutes. Everyone quickly obeyed and backed away. Sakura walked away too and whispered to Ino as she passed, he's all yours. Just don't break his heart or I will kick your ass. Ino kept her gaze on the ground for a good 2 minutes before looking up. I'm glad you could make up with forehead before you left. Naruto nodded, his cheeks a red glow. Thanks. I know you probably had something to do with that. Ino blushed too. I just want to see you happy. A silence began to grow between the two. The longer it lasted, the more awkward it grew. Naruto sighed. I'm sorry that Sakura tried to force you to talk with me. I wanted to though. I didn't want you to leave before I gave you something. Naruto raised an eyebrow. What? Ino slowly walked closer until she was not far from Naruto. She smirked. You better get a lot taller while you are gone, cause next time I want to have to be able to look up to do this. She then leaned forward, pressing her lips to Naruto's. Both worlds froze in that moment. Naruto could only focus of the softness and taste of Ino's lips. Ino was amazed by the gentle yet firmness of Naruto's kiss. Ino slowly looped her hands around Naruto's en as she leaned closer as she closed her eyes. Naruto's resolve slowly started to melt away, but at the last second he regained it and pushed Ino away. Ino looked at Naruto as she held her hand against her lips. Naruto. Naruto was obviously struggling not to give in and kiss Ino again. He looked up at her and sighed, I told you no one else will ever have my heart. I just can't let you have it either. I love you too much to give you that kind of burden. He then picked up his pack and started for the gate. Take care of Sakura for me. The gates opened as Jiraiya appeared beside him and the two walked off. Sakura walked up beside Ino, who was still in shock. You okay? Ino's eyes then lit up with a new determination. If he wants to play it that way, then let him. Be careful, Naruto Uzumaki, because when you get back, I'm going to make you love me. No matter how hard I have to try. A cloaked figure looked over the village of Konoha. He looked behind him. Remember, old man, keep the surprise busy until I say so. He was answered with a scoff. Watch it, kid. Just because you beat me in the last spar doesn't mean that you're better. The figure chuckled. You're right. He then patted his cloak at the side. A giggle was heard. These do. He then vanished without another trace. Tsunade's office. Tsunade sighed as she signed another sheet of paper. These things were getting old. She really had to find a replacement soon, but unfortunately her top prospect was 2 years late. Oi, how you doing, old hag? Tsunade's head snapped up to see a cloaked figure. Who the hell are you, and I dare you to call me old hag again? The figure's head snapped back, letting the hood fall back, revealing the figure's face. Tsunade gasped, Yondaime-sama. The young man laughed, not you too. I ran into a few rock nins the other week who claimed that I was my dad resurrected. I had to go and kill them. A smile broke Tsunade's face. Naruto. Naruto smirked, who else? Tsunade was immediately on the other side of her desk, embracing the young man. It's you. I can't believe it's really you. She then pulled back and bopped him on the head. Where the hell have you been? And where the hell is that old pervert at? I have got a few choice words for him. Naruto smiled. He's taking care of something. As for where I've been, well, he walked up Tsunade's desk, reached into his cloak, pulled out a pouch, and dumped 10 rings onto the desk. I trust you know what those are. And what me having them means. Tsunade was shocked as she recognized the rings quickly. She slowly walked up, picked one of them up and examined it. There was no doubt about it. These were the 10 rings that belonged to each of the Akatsuki members. And to collect them all meant one thing, you killed them. Naruto nodded. It had to be done. I have already sent messages informing the villagers that their respective missing nins have been taken care of and where they could pick up the body. Tsunade looked at Naruto in awe. Naruto. How strong are you now? With Ino. Ino walked out her parents' shop carrying her usual arrangement of flowers. It had become a weekly ritual for her now. She looked up at the top of the Hokage monument and started her way there. Since the week Naruto left, Ino would weekly gather an arrangement of flowers and take them up to Hokage monument and then place them on top of the 40H's head. She would then mutter a quick prayer to the Hokage to look after Naruto and bring him back safely. Sometimes Sakura or one of Naruto's other friends would accompany her, but she never missed a week. There had even been that one week about 3 months after Naruto left that she had fallen asleep after an exceptionally long prayer and caught cold. She had to sneak out the next week against her parents' wishes for her weekly ritual. Over the years she had grown even more beautiful in the eyes of a lot of young male population. She had been asked out on countless dates, denying them all, stating that she was already spoken for. One young man had been brave enough to even insult Naruto after hearing that was who Ino was waiting for. He learned very quickly not to make that mistake and was in the hospital for several weeks. Unfortunately, his care fell under Tsunade's new promising student, Sakura. After that, not many guys were brave enough to ask Ino out. Ino smiled as she walked through the village and smiled as she saw Shikamaru running up to her. It has to be big to get his lazy ass running. Shikamaru stopped in front of her and stopped for a second, catching his breath. That troublesome sandwoman threatened to tell her brother about hers and mine relationship if I couldn't find you in 10 minutes. Do you know how hard you are to find? Why do you have to be so troublesome? Ino chuckled. So, what is so important that she had to motivate you that much? Shikamaru reached into his pocket and pulled out a familiar look-ten lace. He held it in front of Ino. Some cloaked guy came through the gates about 30 minutes ago. When asked who he was, he just tossed this at the guard and walked through the gate. Ino gasped as she looked at it, reaching out, making sure it was real. It was the very same lace that used to belong to the first Hokage, then Tsunade, then Naruto-kun. She waited for a response. Where? Shikamaru sighed. He was heading for the tower. The flowers Ino arranged were quickly forgotten in the middle of the street as she ran off towards Hokage Tower. Tsunade's office. Sakura slowly opened the door to her sensei's office. Tsunade-sama, the guards said that you called for me. Tsunade nodded. Come in. Sakura slowly walked in. She was surprised when she heard the door shut behind her and a pair of arms wrap around her. A voice then entered her ear. A voice she could never forget. So, my big sis has been busy while I was gone. Sakura spun around and looked up at the face of her little brother. She screamed in happiness before wrapping her arms tightly around Naruto. Little brother. Naruto smiled as he looked down at his sister. Miss me? Sakura pulled away and nodded with a huge smile on her face. When did you get back? About 30 minutes ago. Where have you been? Tsunade-sama said you were supposed to be back after 3 years. What happened? Naruto chuckled lightly, rubbing the back of his head. I got distracted. Sakura narrowed her eyes. Naruto. Naruto paled, knowing that tone of voice. Well, I had a couple run-ins with Itachi and his friends. Took care of them though. Sakura's eyes widened. You what? Naruto chuckled again. Yeah, finished them off about 6 weeks ago. Sakura's eyes narrowed. Then what took you 6 weeks getting back? Oh, that's another surprise I have the old pervert taking care of right now. Just then they heard some commotion outside the room, and then the doors flew open to see several Anbu guards out cold and Ino stand there breathing heavily. Her eyes scanned the room until they locked on the most beautiful eyes she ever saw. The blonde hair, the whisker marks, the smirk that only he could pull of that almost left her weak in the knees. Time seemed to move in slow motion as Ino walked up to him, bringing her hand up and touching her cheek. She smiled brightly. Naruto-kun. Naruto chuckled. Lucky me, I found the beautiful princess without even trying. Ino then tackled Naruto, hugging him tightly, crying into his chest. I missed you. I missed you so damn much. How dare you keep me waiting? Naruto stiffened. This was the first time he had been in this intimate of an embrace in a very long time. Sure, Tsunade and Sakura had hugged her, but this was different. This was Ino Yamanaka. He slowly relaxed and hugged her back. Sorry, Ino-chan. I didn't mean to upset you. Ino pulled away and looked at him. Her face was lit up with anger. Naruto's eyes began to look a lot like those of deer caught in the headlights of a car. He knew he had just done something wrong, but he had no idea what. All he did was apologize. Upset me. Upset me. I was past upset months ago. Do you know what it was like to think every night that you might be S? Do you know how it felt every time I was summoned here thinking that they were going to tell me you were S? How about me putting my entire social life on hold just for you? I never asked you to do that. Ino's face grew redder. You didn't have to. I told you I love you, damn it, and you left town. Now what are you going to do to make it up? Naruto looked at Tsunade and Sakura for assistance but saw they both seemed to be siding with Ino. He moved away slowly. Ino, I can't do something like that. Ino felt her heat crushing. But, why? You said your heart would always be mine, so why won't you let me have it? Naruto sighed. Things are more complicated than back then. Ino was about to ask why when a worried Jiraiya rushed into the room. Listen, kid. I lost. He looked around and spotted the other 3 occupants in the room. Naruto was immediately worried. Jiraiya. Don't tell me you lost. Just then another figure rushed into the room, tackling Naruto at the chest. Daddy. Everyone focused on the figure of a little girl that couldn't be more than 3 years old. She had long black hair and was wearing what was obviously a pair of old shorts and her dad's old training shirt that was probably too small for him now. A belt held the shirt around the little girl. She looked up at Naruto, pouting. Daddy. Why did you leave me with the stinky old man? I wanted to come with you. Naruto smiled. Sorry, Chio. Daddy had to go see all those nice people he told you about. I wanted to talk to them before they met you. Chio smiled, already forgiving her daddy. It's okay then. Ino looked at the two and began to put 2 and 2 together. The words Naruto had just said echoed in his head. Things are more complicated than back then. The truth began to sink in. He found someone else. And they have a daughter. She started to back away. Naruto looked up and saw Ino, realizing what she must think. Ino. It's not. Ino didn't give him a chance to explain as she ran out of the room in tears. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.